Alrighty. Hello, everyone. Welcome to therapy. I'm Neva, also from the Neva J podcast.
And I'm Merrick, the co-host of Therapy.
I was waiting for you to say I'm Merrick from therapy because you say it every time and it cracks me up. And then today we have a guest with us. I finally bribed somebody to come on. Go ahead, introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Lynsay. I work with Neva. You didn't have to bribe me too much. You just said that we would be drinking wine, and I was like, okay.
He's like, yeah, I'd love to. I'm like, really? But yeah, so today we will be making the license renewal is the name of the drink we're making today. It is our most expensive drink on the menu. Yes, very, very classy beverage. Hence why I'm dressed like the Real Housewives of Broome County. Because this drink makes me want to channel my inner housewife, So that is what we're drinking. I always think when I put red lipstick on and a scarf that I'm so classy.
I thought it was like part of your sweater. Like it was
it's just a scarf.
Oh, it looks nice.
It'll keep you warm.
I know. And then I have leggings on underneath. So. Yeah, so the license renewal is our most expensive drink. Explain why, Merrick.
Wait, you want me to explain?
Explain why.
Oh. Okay, so yeah, it's our most expensive drink on the menu. However, it is actually very cheap wine. And we made it this way because license renewal for a social worker is very expensive, and yet you're not really sure what you get out of it. And it's a difficult process. It costs a lot of money. I feel like you're never really sure when you need to renew and exactly how to do it. So, yeah.
And it's like it's expensive to pay for something you already have, which is what doesn't make sense. So basically our drink is we're gonna have a glass of wine that we already had in our fridge. Because we already have the education. We're already working in the field. So basically all they want is our money. That's it. They just want your money. And then in order to like maintain your license, you have to do all these like continuing education credits that cost more than we make a paycheck. And it's like they take the like lowest paying profession and have us go through so many hoops to maintain our licensure and our credentials, but don't pay us for what we do. Where doctors, they do have to do like continuing education and all that stuff, but they're actually paid for that. So it's weird that they're having us do like stuff that's comparable to what doctors have to do to keep on top of their credentials, but doctors are paid like 5 times more than what we make. So,
right.
And they only spend like 5 minutes with you, and they don't even look at you. They come in and they're like, yep, yeah, okay. We'll have a prescription. Okay, we'll have a prescription at the pharmacy. All right. Where we're actually like spending time with people and sometimes going into their disgusting homes. So here we are. I'm sipping Napa Cellar Sauvignon Blanc. What you guys got?
I don't even know what I have.
Alvarez. Robble? No, it's a red wine?
Yes. I was telling Jason, my boyfriend, about that I had, this recording and I needed to drink like some cheap wine. And I was like, what do we have? Like, I don't even know. Usually wine doesn't really stay in our house very long. So it's not like we have like a huge stock. Yeah. But there was one that's been here forever. I'm like, why have we not opened that? Like, where did that even come from? Maybe I should drink that wine. So I looked it up. And it's like a $66 bottle of wine. I was like, Jason, I can't drink that. Where did we even get that? It was definitely a gift. We wouldn't have bought that or anything. So he was like, no, I got this wine. Use this one. So it's a dry red, which
you like dry vagina wines?
Oh my God.
I usually like dry, but that's all right.
What are you having, Lynsay?
So my bottle's in my kitchen and I'm upstairs because Will's currently tiling the kitchen. So I pulled up a picture on my phone. This is what I'm drinking. It's a Riesling.
Oh,
Ooh,
I
this is
like
hot.
that one. I've had it. It's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Oh man, Merrick, you don't like dry vagina wine, so I don't know if you're gonna like that.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, but my glass, I chose this glass because there's like a decoration down here too. It was actually a social work self-care, like paint and sip wine night.
Yeah.
And we did like a painting together, social workers at the hospital. And they also gave us a wine glass to paint. So I was like, oh, this is a perfect wine glass to use today.
I thought you were gonna say a kid painted that for you.
Oh. Oh my god. And then I also thought it was like kind of like Valentine's Day theme. Like
I know, and it matches your nails. It looks like you have Valentine's Day colored
you
nails.
for noticing.
Yeah.
oh, how
cute.
cute are those?
This is not me at all. Like I wouldn't, but someone that I follow on Instagram had like Valentine's Day nails, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do that today.
It's
did.
cute to match
Yeah,
your
very cute.
child painted glass.
Cheers.
Cheers, Lynsay. Cheers.
Cheers. My glass isn't child painted. It says adulting is bullshit on it.
Oh, I
It's
thought
kind of worn off over time, but
I love that you drink your wine with some ice cubes. It's so
Yeah.
cool.
No, I like ice in my wine.
I used to do that when I was in college. I used to like diabetes wine. And that's like that Moscato, the barefoot Moscato, that's like $9.99. All that sugary shit. I used to love that stuff. Pound them back, wake up, no hangover. Now that I'm in my old age, I can't drink that stuff anymore. It gives me acid reflux. It gives me a migraine. So I've dabbled over to the semi-dry. So the Rieslings, the Sauvignon Blancs. I haven't gone all the way to the vagina dry wine. I haven't gone to the Sauvignon. I haven't gone to the Cabernet Sauvignon or the Merlots because I'm like, ugh. When I drink that stuff, I'm like, it's just not. But I'm sure give it a couple more years.
Yeah.
Give it 2 more years when I'm 67.
you guys froze on me, and so I was like, you like cut out, and so it was all frozen for like a minute. So I totally missed it. So I apologize.
Yeah. No, that's fine. But yeah. Anywho, we're having Botox weather. We've been having it for about a week now. Would you guys agree?
Yes.
Yeah. So like in honor of Botox weather and my Real Housewife look, when I laugh, I will laugh like I have Botox. Like and barely like move my face. Okay. Yeah, so like Lynsay is fresher out of grad school than we are. So this is a little closer to, well, it's close for all of us because we have to renew every, what, is it 3 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. But she can like, Lynsay, could you explain to our viewers the beginning process? Like once you get out of grad school, the first.
Oh, well, I think I was kind of lucky because Binghamton submits a lot of that stuff to the state, but you have to gather a bunch of paperwork to prove that you've even graduated from an accredited college so that you can be licensed. And then you submit all that paperwork and you wait, and then you get an email saying that you can sign up. And when you sign up, you get told there's a pandemic and you can't take the test. But no, there's a lot of paperwork to gather. And so then you have to move on to get your clinical license and keep track of all of your hours that you see clients and supervision. And it's just a lot of paperwork. That's pretty much what our job is paperwork.
Yeah. So, yeah, because I know originally when we came up with the drink, we were gonna try to take a shot. That's why I have my kid's little basketball thing back there. Do you have one, Merrick?
No, I didn't bring mine home. I have one in my office, both in my office actually, in the elementary school and the high school. and I was gonna bring them home for this drink, but totally
Yeah.
forgot.
I was too lazy to go downstairs and grab their bigger hoop, but I have the little one, and since I'm no athlete, I'm not gonna try it. But originally we were gonna have, since Merrick is an athlete, she was gonna take a shot, and if she makes it, then it's like, because basically just to signify that, like, they make you jump through hoops
Yes.
to renew your license. So yeah, it's a process. So like Lynsay was saying, when you are done, you do your 2 years or however long, if you're part-time, that it takes. Then you have to take how long?
3.5.
Oh, 3.5.
Yeah.
Then you take the child abuse class. You have to take that. Then after you take that, you have to submit some paperwork, like Lynsay was saying, that shows that you graduated from a accredited school of social work, that you've got enough credits, and there's certain like core classes that you needed to have taken. And then you send them the money, which is the most important part, because that's all they really care about is the money. Like, it'll be like, as soon as you get on there and you put in your account information, the money's gone.
Yeah, you have to pay to apply and then pay to sit and take the test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're quick to take your money, but very
Yeah.
slow to give you a refund.
Or send you your license.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And then, so once you have your license, it's good for 3 years. Then you renew it every 3 years. So you submit more money that they take from you. And then on top of that, you have to get, 36 hours of continuing education credits within that 3 years.
So it's
And
like
have to pay for.
it's like one a month.
yeah. And basically what these boil down to, these credits, you can go to a full day, like 9-hour training, and it's like 5 credits. 5. And you have paid like $450 for that full day. And some of them, they'll be like, oh, light lunch provided. Like, they don't even feed you. You're paying like $450.
Yeah.
And they're saying like light lunch and like breakfast. And basically when you get to breakfast, it's like Danishes and orange juice. Not even the good Tropicana orange juice. They got Sunny D. That's what you're getting. Orange juice.
Well, let's mention the one positive though. So if you're out of school, out of grad school, you get your license, you're working towards your clinical license, you have 3 years after getting your license of master of social work. You have 3 years to get your license clinical social work. If you do it within that 3 years of your license, then you don't have to have those continuing education credits. So that's what I did. So like when I graduated grad school, I got my LMSW. Within the 3 years after my LMSW, I got my LCSW. So technically I graduated from grad school in 2013, and I haven't had to earn a CEU yet. Well,
Really?
I'm starting this year. So
Oh, that must be nice.
yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is, yes, that is a positive. Look at you trying to find the light. Well, let me dim that light for you real quick. Let me tell you how hard it is to find a job that gives you clinical hours right out of grad school. It's very difficult. So that's why I just now reached my 2,000 hours to qualify for my C, which is, so you start off with your MSW, which is your master's in social work out of grad school. Then you take the test, you pay all the money, take out a second mortgage, sell a kidney to pay for it. Then if you pass the test, you get your L, so your licensed master's social worker. Then you need 2,000 hours of clinical, like supervision and clinical experience. So it's hard because they are not hiring. A lot of the agencies that do clinical social work are not hiring fresh out of grad school kids because they don't have the experience for that. So it's hard to get in a agency where you can do that. I know Lynsay could speak to that because she was working at an agency where she wasn't accruing hours. for a while, right?
Yeah, well, so I graduated in December and I left in July. I was supposed to actually leave in March, but then the pandemic delayed everything. But yeah, I mean, there was always talk that there would be the potential to be able to get hours, but then it never actually happened because there are there people at the agency that wanted to accrue the hours and get their license, but there's nobody there to do it.
Yeah. Because in order, I think you have to have supervision from someone with C, correct? Like
Yes.
a level above you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a C, well, I guess Merrick can speak to it. Once you get the C, then what?
That was my goal. I got higher. So there's higher licensure. So then you could work to getting your R,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't even know. What does that allow supervision? Is it?
That's being supervised by someone with an R, and then that's 3,000 hours.
What's the benefit of having an R? It's just for billing, right? It's more for billing.
And like private practice.
Right.
Yeah, insurance reimbursement.
Right. So to be reimbursed for insurance and private practice. And the thing is, for the R, there isn't a test. It's just getting the 3,000 hours, and then you pay more money. Mm-hmm. And not only are you paying more money, but for the R, each different insurance company that you want to be able to take, you have to apply for each of those companies, and that's more paperwork and more money you have to submit. We have a coworker who's like going through it now to take Medicaid, right?
Yeah.
But then in order for her to take Medicaid, she has to be approved to take Medicare as well. So
more hoops to jump through.
Right.
We've been working on this for months too, so it's not an easy process. There's a lot that you have to submit.
It's not. And I just now submitted paperwork for my C. So the C is clinical. It stands for clinical. And basically what that means is that you have enough like hours. Like I've gotten 2,000 hours where I've worked with people in a setting that's like more individualistic and doing more like diagnosing and more therapeutic stuff. Where just the LMSW, you could be like, it's more macro level social work where you could be doing case management and stuff like that, not like too much therapeutic stuff happening there. So I just paid a bunch of money, and listen to this. My laugh. So basically what ended up happening, I just got enough hours to be able to do it. But my license was expired in December. And listen to this. Now they don't even give you a full 3 years. Before they used to give you from the date that so I took my tests and got my licensure in July. So you would think I would have 3 years. So the 3 years later in July to do it. Oh no, they came out with a new rule now that you have to renew by January.
They want everyone to renew January.
Yeah, everyone, no matter when you got your licensure, January. So now technically I only get 2.5 years, not even a full 3 years. Yeah, it's bullshit. So it's bullshit. It's pure fucking bullshit. So now, so I didn't have till July. So I just got all my hours in November for my C. So I submitted that, paid them $500, which is how much it cost. All this fucking paperwork that I was like asking Merrick. I'm like, Merrick, how do you do this? Because you have your C. She's like, oh, I did it a while back. I don't know if it's still the same.
And I tell everyone, like, if you can do the paperwork and figure that out, you'll be fine for the test. Like, it was by far the hardest thing like I've ever done. I'm like, what is this? Why does it have to be this difficult? And then I was thinking, like, man, social workers were constantly looking for like gaps in services and a need that's not being met. I'm like, this is a gap in services. I should actually quit my job and I should be a social worker that just helps other social workers with this paperwork.
Yeah, that's true. That would be a good business.
Yeah, that could be a job in itself.
Right. And so it was like, So I printed out the checklist online. Then I was like, it was like a whole checks and balance. I felt like I was in A Beautiful Mind, you know? Like, oh, I have this, go down to this chart. Okay, submit that. And this is due. Okay, then I have to, like, so then it's like, you have to send this paperwork, like, especially if you had several settings, if you worked at several settings where you were like accumulating hours, where I was accumulating hours from 3 different jobs, right? So, if you want to make your life easier, stay at one fucking job and get all your hours, even if you're unhappy. Because it gets so complicated when you have several jobs. So it's like, I had to like submit this form to this supervisor at this job. And then they had to like check how many hours I had there. Then they wanted certain things submitted directly from the supervisor. So I couldn't be like, oh, can you send me how many hours I got here? Then I'll submit it for you. It's like, no, I fill out a portion of it. I submit one portion to them, a portion to HR, then a portion to where I graduated and got my degree. Then it was getting like, I thought I had a whole system going, but apparently I didn't, because I was sending the wrong forms to the wrong supervisors.
Right, but that's like part of the process. And I'm like, I remember telling you, Neva, like, I don't know, I can't tell you exactly what to do, just get started. Like, just start sending the forms where you think you're gonna go,
right.
Send it to the state will tell you like what you need, what you're missing, what you still need to provide to them. Like,
right.
Don't wait on it, trying to figure it out, just like send what you think and they'll correct you.
Right. So then I was like getting like, one of my supervisors was like, I think you sent me the wrong form. She's like, I had to go online and check, and I think this is the form I needed. I'm like, okay, but it's not like she could have printed out the form and filled it out, because I had to do the first part of it. So I'm like, okay, I will print this out. I'll fax it to you. But it was just like, it was so much shit. And finally, when I got all my forms in order and submitted it, then they had the audacity to email me and said I was short a few hours. I'm like, just give it to me. Give it to me for getting the forms correct. So then I had to wait to get those few hours and then resubmit more shit. It was just like, I don't even, where I was going with this is not only that, but so then by the time, because my thing was going to be expiring, my license was going to expire in December, because they want everyone, like I said, you have to renew by like December 31st, January, ever. It doesn't matter when you got it. So by the time I did everything, it was end of November. And I'm like, fuck. We all know how long they take before they approve you to sit for the test. And we're like, it's during COVID. So I don't know, they're not testing right now. You can't go and sit in the testing centers, because we have another coworker, Lynsay and I, who's trying to get her L, and they keep postponing the test because of COVID. And they're like, so now I think the soonest they're doing is April. So then I'm like, I'm not going to get approved by then. And my licensure is up in December, but I just paid $500 for this. And you think, so I sent them an email. You think they would be like, okay, since you already paid for this and you're waiting, blah, blah, like you don't have to repay to renew your license? No, I still had to pay, what is it? Like $300, right? $295 or whatever. I still had to pay the $300 to keep my license current when I just paid them $500 to get the new license. So within 2 months, they made $800 off of me.
That's crazy.
Wow. And you're not even up to 3 years yet.
No, because my 3 years would be in July.
And some of that money is just to New York State, right? It's not even NASW. It's just New York State's fees.
Yeah.
Because they're even more strict than other states.
Right.
Crazy. I have 2 license renewal stories I will share. Both happened during my job at the hospital. But right before I started working at the hospital, I heard that there was like this terribly mean boss that was like the head of the whole case management and social work department, but she was a social worker. And I didn't meet her, but I just heard like horror stories. And she like got fired, and it was kind of like scandalous when she got fired. And like everyone was like afraid of her because she was like so terrible. But like one of the social workers had been getting supervised from her. So she was like, the lady was like packing up her office, and the social worker was like, I got to get my paperwork signed. I'll like never see her again. So she was like packing up her office, and the girl like went in. She's like, "Hi, sorry, we're really gonna miss you. If you don't mind, like, could you please like sign my paperwork for my license? Like, basically signing off on the supervision hours." But it's just like what Neva said, like you got to do whatever you can to like get those hours. Like if you're at a job that offers that supervision, like stay there until they're done, because you just got to jump through more hoops, you know, if you don't.
Right.
The other story was one of my coworkers at the hospital. She didn't know, like I said, like you never really pay attention. Like when does my license need renewal? Like when does it expire? You don't really know. So my one coworker, she had no idea. And like two of the bosses like came up to her and they're like, "Your license is expired. You need to renew it right now." And she's like, "What? It's like $300." Like,
Yeah.
how do they know I even have $300 to spend? But they made her like go on right then and like just
Oh my
like,
God.
Merrick, I don't know if I did all the CEUs. They just had me click like completed 36 CEUs. Yep. She's like, I just said yes. I don't know. If they audit me, I guess I got to show proof of that. But other than that, they don't ask for proof. She's like, so I paid the $300 and renewed right there on the spot.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. That's like our HR too. Like when my license was about to be done, I got a nasty letter from HR saying your license is expiring in December. Please send us proof of what you're doing to keep it current or whatever. And I sent them proof like after it expired because I'm like, what are you gonna do? Fire me? Huh?
I'm so
And
surprised.
yeah, I'm like, and if you want me so current on this, why aren't you paying for this? Like, pay for this renewal. Seriously.
Or the CEUs. Yeah. My school now, like, I don't think they have any idea what like, I don't even think they know, like, I'm licensed really. Like, they have no idea about anything. Like, I'm the only social worker in the district. So I feel like they don't even know. And then I'm the one that's like, I renewed my license. I think you might need a copy of this for billing, but not sure.
Good for you.
I'm like, okay, yeah, we'll put it in your file, Merrick. Sure.
Don't know. You got any license renewal stories? How was it sitting for your test, Lynsay?
I was actually really calm that day. It was weird. I think that I meditated that morning to get in a really good mindset. And I watched The Lion King because that's my favorite movie, and it was like my comfort. Like I'm gonna watch this with my breakfast before I go into this exam. And yeah, it went well. I kind of flew right through it and just was ready to pass it and get
You
it over.
see, use those skills, social workers. That she was using her coping strategy.
Yes, I was.
One.
Yes, I was.
Her positive coping strategies and just like staying on top of it. Like, good. I know I was not doing none of the above when I went to take my test. I think, first of all, I'm a procrastinator. So I did not study till the week of the week that I had to take the test. All the practice exams I took, I failed, but not by a lot, but I failed them. And so it was like I packed a bag. I literally packed a suitcase. And I told my husband, if I fail, I'm not coming home. I'm like, failure's not an option for me. If I fail, I'm not coming home. And I packed my suitcase, put it in my trunk, went to the test. And then this is the most anxiety provoking, like you take the test and then you do a survey. And after the survey, they give you your results. So you're like sitting there doing the survey and you're like, I don't care about the service. I don't know about the parking.
Like that survey has like no validity because everyone's like, I don't know, sure.
Exactly.
Right. And so then after the survey pops up and it tells you you passed, and then it's like, then it popped up and I passed, and I had like 10 missed calls from my husband. He's like, I was worried about you. He's like, I didn't hear from you. And I didn't know if you were coming home.
It's a long test though.
Yeah.
It is. And I was gonna go back through all the questions and read them all and then I would so I went through like maybe the first 5. I'm like, nope, I'm just submitting it, and just did it and got it over with.
Yeah, because it's timed. It's timed. But it's like my thing, the best advice I could give is do it fresh out of grad school.
Yes. Yes.
Take it right away. If you wait, because I know people who waited and they failed several times.
Yes.
If you wait, you start bringing logic into it, and that's not going to work. They want you to, the test asks questions as if you were in a perfect world. Not like you work in a child prison, but if you were in a perfect world, that's what they want. They want like, in a perfect world, what would you do first?
Yes.
And then what would you do last? And it's like, and you're looking at, and if you're like thinking logically, like if you've been out in the job field and you're like, well, I could make a phone call and type up an email at the same damn time.
Exactly.
You'll fail because they don't want that. What would you do first is what they want. So take it fresh out of grad school.
Mm-hmm.
That's my, like did you pay, Lynsay, for the prep course?
I was just gonna say, and don't waste your money on the prep course. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Just buy the Dawn Apgar book, and she's great. Yeah.
Did they offer a prep course at your school?
Not at my school, but they recommended one. So me and a couple of my colleagues, we went to it. And when you're like, we were in school at the time, and because we were on the border of New Jersey, we could actually like take it in New Jersey as long as we had signed up for our last semester of courses in New York.
Yeah.
So once we signed up, but like the class wasn't necessary because we were so fresh into like the material, we were learning about it, you know, in our classes last 2 years. So it was like, yeah, it was mostly just that book. Like that's what I studied off of. I used the same book for my LCSW. That test was harder. One, because like I was so far out of, you know, it had been 6 years, whatever, 5.5 since I'd been out of school. And it was just so much more like clinical. And although like I had my supervision hours and had done clinical work to get to that point, like my job wasn't that clinical and I wasn't using like so much of those clinical skills like every day. So like that made it tougher. But I think I studied, I don't know, I used that book, I read through it. I took some practice tests for my LCSW. And I studied like, unlike Lynsay, I was studying up until like, I think my boyfriend like drove me to the test and I was literally in the car. Like,
they tell you not to crash.
Not
crash study.
Yeah, no, I was doing that. And then I took the test. And then I was exhausted. All I remember is being like so exhausted after. Like I just came home and passed out, like just slept for, I don't know, till the next day. So yeah, don't do that. Do what Lynsay did.
Well, yeah, I did take the prep course because they were saying like 90% of people who take the prep course, like our school was saying 90% of kids who take the prep course will pass the test. So I did take it. Do I recommend it? No. It was a waste of $300. Like the thing that came out of it is the books, but you could order those books. Yeah. And basically at the prep course, all they had us do is take the practice test on the back of the books. I'm like, I could have done that at home. And they were saying stuff like, oh, you don't need to study this section. Like they told me not to study a lot of research because it's not on there. Like the percentage of research isn't on there that much. Not to study a lot of the ethics because it's not on there. Well, you know what test I got? Ethics and research. That's the card I drew. No. All my questions were research questions. All of them were ethical questions. Literally the sections they told me not to focus on. But you know what? God was on my side and I passed, but I'm like, these bitches I shouldn't have paid that money. Like, why did I do that? Oh
yeah, other colleges offer it for free.
Oh, wasn't that sweet?
Yeah.
You think it'd be part of the tuition since we paid so much to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's crazy. Anyways, yeah, so any last words for our viewers or any young buck social worker, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, ready to go out into the world and get smacked in the fucking face?
Save your pennies.
Pinch your pennies.
Pinch your pennies so you can afford this career.
That's sad. You have to afford our career.
Oh gosh.
How about you, Merrick?
No, I would just encourage any viewers out there, if you have questions about the process, specific questions, don't ask us because we don't know. Check out the frequently asked questions page on the New York State Office of Professions website.
But if you do have questions about wine, do comment on our post. No, I'm kidding. But if you do really have questions about it, we all been through different levels of licensure. And since I'm fresh with the application process for the C, I'm sure I could dig through my stuff and I could answer some for you, or I can go to the frequently asked question page and copy and paste and answer your questions that way.
Careful, I might be coming to you for lots of questions.
Oh, come through. I got a whole binder. A whole binder that says, I don't know. Ask an adult. But yeah, so don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment on our therapy YouTube channel. And if you want to be on a guest on our show, let us know. We are bribing people. So
Yes, this was fun. Thank you for having me.
thanks, Lynsay, for joining us. All right, guys.
All right.
Good afternoon.
Bye.
Bye.